Ashish sir?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I, Ekta, on behalf of MIT Innovation and Design Center, AIDC, and Institutions Innovation Council, MIT University, Uttar Pradesh, extend a very warm welcome to all the esteemed dignitaries, fellow faculty members, and our students on my story, motivational session by successful startup founders. We are indebted to our Honorable Founder President Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan and Honorable President RBEF and Chancellor MIT University Uttar Pradesh Dr. Atul Chauhan, who have always encouraged students and faculty to strive higher and work towards their goal. It is because of their vision that MIT University is one of the leading universities in the world. We are highly privileged to be mentored by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Balwinder Shukla. She has always been a source of constant motivation and a pillar of strength to all of us. Now, to begin with this session, I take immense pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for today, Mr. Shrey Saxena, Executive Director, Grow Diesel Venture. Mr. Saxena is a second-generation social entrepreneur at Grow Diesel. He is an engineer and one of the top global applicants to be shortlisted at Stanford University for his professional education. Mr. Saxena is an internationally recognized public figure and has worked with various organizations in the past since the age of 18. He has taken multiple sessions on social entrepreneurship and communication at various organizations. Mr. Saxena has always believed in innovation that can change lives of people. At Grow Diesel, he feels blessed to fight climate change through actions by converting waste into biofuels. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Saxena to present his experience, his journey with our students.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. I just want to confirm if my voice is audible and is in proper volume.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, Saket sir. And I thank the entire fraternity of Amity University for giving me this chance of being in front of all of you. Now being a millennial myself, I really understand that we as students sometimes find it difficult to absorb a lot of gyan. And in this session, I won't be a lot of gyan sharing. Rather, I will just try to keep a mixture of a gyan balance with few of my learnings and experiences, which I was fortunate enough to experience during my school and college life. And because of those experiences, I want to highlight the importance of one thing which I learned being in college, and that is the importance of community. Now, before we move on to my session and before we dive into the technicalities of my session, I just want to give you a little background about myself. So my name is Shrey Saxena, and just like all of you, I did my engineering from Amity University. And at Grow Diesel, basically, I feel very fortunate that we are solving two of the world's biggest problems. Number one is waste elimination, and second is biofuel generation. So whatever you throw inside your dustbin, we convert it into biofuel, which can be used for running your cars, which can be used to cook your food. It can be used for organic farming. It can be used to generate electricity for your houses or for even charging the much awaited electric vehicles. So at Grow Diesel, we are majorly focusing on these fronts. Now, to give you a little background, I have a small video to show all of you, because being a millennial myself, like I mentioned, that we are more adaptable to audio visuals rather than just one-sided lectures. So I would like to share one video, which is less than 4 minutes, in which you'll have a complete idea that what as an organization we are doing. So just allow me to share the video.
खाना बनाने के काम आ सकता है क्या? ये सारा वेस्ट खाना बनाने के काम आ सकता है? वेल, सुनने में एक जोक जैसा लगता है, बट एक्चुअली ये पॉसिबल है. लेट्स सी हाउ. हम सुबह से लेकर रात तक काफी वेस्ट जनरेट करते हैं और ये सारा वेस्ट कलेक्ट होता जा रहा है, जो आज एक बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है. वहीं दूसरी तरफ फ्यूल जनरेशन में एयर पॉल्यूशन और वाटर पॉल्यूशन दोनों ही होता है, और इन्हीं दोनों प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कर रहे हैं ग्रो डीजल। नमस्ते, मेरा नाम श्रेय सक्सेना है और मैं ग्रो डीजल का क्रिएटिव डायरेक्टर हूँ। ग्रो डीजल की जर्नी मेरे डैड ने 2001 में शुरू की, जब लंदन की एक कॉन्फ्रेंस में उन्हें बायोफ्यूल के बारे में पता चला, तो उन्होंने सोचा कि ऐसा ही कुछ इंडिया में क्यों ना शुरू किया जाए। जो गैस ऑर्गेनिक मैटर से बनाई जाए उसे बायोगैस कहते हैं। वैसे तो इसको बनाने के कई तरीके हैं, बट अतुल जी ने कुछ नेक्स्ट लेवल ही सोचा। हमें बायोफ्यूल बनाने के लिए कुछ ऐसा सोर्स चाहिए था जो बहुत ज्यादा मात्रा में अवेलेबल भी हो और जिससे वेस्ट भी जनरेट ना हो। तो हमने सोचा क्यों ना वेस्ट को ही इतना बायोफ्यूल का सोर्स बना लिया जाए। तो ग्रो डीजल ने वेस्ट टू बायोफ्यूल टेक्नोलॉजीज पे काम करना शुरू कर दिया। लेकिन वेस्ट से बायोफ्यूल बनाना इतना आसान नहीं था, बिकॉज बायो सीएनजी सिर्फ ऑर्गेनिक वेस्ट से बनती है और ग्रीन क्रूड ऑयल प्लास्टिक वेस्ट से। और इंडिया में वेस्ट सेग्रीगेशन ऑलरेडी एक बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है। ऑर्गेनिक वेस्ट और रिसाइक्लेबल वेस्ट मिक्स होने जाने के कारण उसको सही से प्रोसेस नहीं किया जा सकता, इसलिए लैंडफिल रोज पे रोज बढ़े जा रहे हैं। बट जब कुछ करने की चाहो तो प्रॉब्लम को अवॉइड नहीं करते, उसे फेस करते हैं और उसे सॉल्व करते हैं, और यही किया अतुल जी। ऑर्गेनिक वेस्ट से कंप्रेस्ड बायोगैस बनाई जा सकती है। सो इनिशियली हमने उन जगहों को टारगेट करा जहाँ पे हमारे पास मेजॉरिटी ऑर्गेनिक वेस्ट ही आता था, जैसे कि सब्जी मंडियाँ, फूड कैंटीन्स, गौशाला और स्लॉटर हाउसेज। प्लास्टिक से ग्रीन क्रूड ऑयल बनाने के लिए हमने बहुत सारे कबाड़ी वालों से टाई अप करा जो हमें सेग्रीगेटेड प्लास्टिक लाके देते थे। अब वेस्ट तो सेग्रीगेटेड मिल गया, बट इससे बायोफ्यूल बनाना एकदम नई टेक्नोलॉजी थी, तो ये काफी चैलेंजिंग हो रहा था। 8 साल की फील्ड रिसर्च के बाद हमने फाइनली अपनी टेक्नोलॉजी बनाई और हमने पहला वेस्ट टू बायोफ्यूल प्रोजेक्ट एग्जीक्यूट करा। और उन्होंने अपनी कंपनी को ग्रो डीजल के नाम से रजिस्टर किया और इस टेक्नोलॉजी को गवर्नमेंट से डिस्कस किया। हमने दिल्ली की पुरानी मुख्यमंत्री श्रीमती शीला दीक्षित जी के आगे एक प्रेजेंटेशन दी थी और उनको ये आइडिया काफी अच्छा लगा, और 20 अगस्त 2010 को उन्होंने ग्रो डीजल का वेस्ट टू बायोफ्यूल प्रोजेक्ट इनॉग्रेट करा। अब बायोगैस तो बन गई, तो लेट्स सी इस बायोगैस को हम कहाँ यूज कर सकते हैं। ये बायोफ्यूल हम बहुत सारी चीजों के लिए इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, जैसे गाड़ी चलाने के लिए, खाना बनाने के लिए, इंडस्ट्रीज में मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के लिए और इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेट करने के लिए भी। जो इनके बाय प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं उनसे हम ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग कर सकते हैं और रोड कंस्ट्रक्शन के लिए भी इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। अभी तक ग्रो डीजल ने 250,000 मेट्रिक टन ऑफ वेस्ट को कन्वर्ट करके 20 मिलियन केजीज ऑफ बायोगैस बनाई है। हमने दिल्ली सरकार, हरियाणा सरकार और महाराष्ट्र सरकार के लिए अन्य प्रोजेक्ट्स किए हैं। अब सोचिए, सारा वेस्ट अगर फ्यूल जनरेट करने के काम आ जाए तो लैंडफिल भी इंक्रीज नहीं होगा और हमें दूसरी कंट्री से फ्यूल खरीदना भी नहीं पड़ेगा। तो अगर आपको ये स्टोरी अच्छी लगी तो इस वीडियो को शेयर करिएगा, सो दैट ज्यादा से ज्यादा।
Yeah, so this was a little bit of introduction about what we are doing, and I hope so that people who saw this video will now have a bit of an idea that what exactly we are doing. So बहुत ही simple भाषा में अगर मैं इसको simplify करूँ, तो जो भी आप कुछ डस्टबिन में डाल देते हैं उसको हम कन्वर्ट कर रहे हैं वे बायोफ्यूल में, which can be used to run your vehicles, which can be used for cooking, which can be even used for electricity generation. One very interesting fact that I would like to share with all of you, if any Formula car fans over here, Formula racing car fans over here, we actually tried our biofuel in one of the Formula car races, which was held in year 2019, and the response was amazing. And जिस टीम को हमने ये बायोफ्यूल दिया था, that team actually won 8 out of 10 races, and it was a huge success for us on a personal level. Now, at today's session, what I decided that rather than just talking about my company, I would be sharing that what exactly I did during my school and my college, which actually helped me professionally, and even till date it is helping me. So first of all, I would like to share a small story about one of my first startups, which I did in my ninth grade in Cambridge school. So when in 2010, when I was in ninth grade, with three of my school friends, we started this organization by the name of Inex Union. And this organization was a very simple. It was started as a club in which we all used to have a zero period. I'm sure that if you guys were in school, I'm sure you guys were in school. So most of the schools must be having this zero period. Now in this zero period, we thought that nothing productive was happening. So we started this organization by the name of Inex Union, in which we started training the students in different aspects related to IT, design, video editing, photo editing, photography, and all these things. And the result of which was so huge and so nice that within a span of 2 years, we became a strong team of 40 plus members. And since year 2013 till year 2020, before the pandemic, every year this organization generates an additional six-figure revenue for the school. Now, it was something that was extremely new for us, and we created something that was creating an additional revenue for the school. So the school was now at a shock that what had actually happened in this particular community. And if you have to ask me what were my lessons, and my lessons were basically that if you are a part of a community can bear big changes. It can create a big impact. And I'm pretty sure that Amity offers us a lot of opportunities where we can be a part of different organizations, we can be a part of different societies, and being part of these societies can actually make a very big difference. And I'll share my story that how, because of just communities being a part of my entrepreneurship development center, I actually got an opportunity to go to Europe for absolutely no money. Yes, so I traveled from Madrid to Amsterdam, covering four European countries with absolutely no money. And as we move forward, I'll be sharing about that particular story, that how I actually got a chance to be a part of this whole exciting journey. So, moving on, like I mentioned about my first startup in my school life, when I joined Amity in year 2014, I was very fascinated. I was looking out for what kind of communities I can be a part of. So I stumbled upon. I was just walking through the. I was in E Block. I was since I was in engineering department. I was in E Block, and I was just walking down the hallway, and I noticed that there was a lot of crowd in front of a particular room. So I just happened to ask a fellow college mate that what was going on, and that person mentioned that auditions were happening for Entrepreneurship Development Center, and those auditions were being carried out by our super seniors. I think the final year students, and the first round was a group discussion. So I was like, okay, let's give it a try. What worse will happen? I won't be selected. That's the worst that can happen. So I went for the group discussion, and I finally made it to the I cleared the GD round, and I made it to the second round of interview. Post interview, they had a target to select around 40 people, and I was lucky enough that I was selected. I was one of those 40 people who were selected in that organization. Now, entrepreneurship center of ASET actually was the turning point in my life, because to be very frank with you, I was not a very bright student in my studies, especially college. But when it comes to co-curricular activities, I was very active. I used to explore the weirdest of the weird things that were going on in campus. I used to attend a lot of events, especially related to entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship cell actually gave me that opportunity. Now, because of ECell, I was fortunate enough to be a part of conferences where we had speakers like Mukesh Ambani sir, we had speakers like the founder of Uber, we had speakers like you just named the company, and I was a part of that event where that particular founder or that investor was a part of. And attending those conferences actually made a huge difference in my life at that point of time, because it made me very clear that first of all, that it made me clear that I don't want to don't want to do job in my life ever. So that was one point, that one takeaway which I took. And in my final year, when the placements were going on, actually I signed a form in which the form mentioned that I don't want to sit in placements, because after attending these events, it made me quite confident that job is something that I don't want to. And I'm highly inspired by my father, who actually is an entrepreneur himself. So I because of ESL, something completely unimaginable happened with me. And that something was that in EFL, I developed a habit. I developed one habit that जो भी notice board आएगा मैं उस पे जितने forms होंगे I will read them, because you might not know that क्या आपके interest का निकल जाए. So whenever I used to cross my block during the entrance of our block, there used to be a notice board. Every block has it. So I started reading whatever was being mentioned there. जो भी आपको event हो रहा होता था, कुछ भी हो रहा होता था, वहाँ पे poster पे आपको कोई ना कोई poster जरूर मिल जाता था. So this habit I developed in my second year of college, and this one habit actually changed things for me, because in final year of my college I was just walking down the hallway and I just noticed that there was a form, एक poster लगा हुआ था notice board पर, which read that do you want to travel Europe for absolutely free? And I was like, that was intriguing. I thought maybe it's a clickbait, like YouTubers use it, whether they use a catchy headline or catchy poster to gather your attention. So I was actually hooked by that clickbait. So I just started reading that what all was going on. So it was an event by Red Bull. We all are youngsters. I'm pretty sure that all of you are aware what Red Bull is. Red Bull and energy is an energy drink. So Red Bull was organizing this event by the name of Can You Make It? And in this event, 200 teams from all over the world were selected, and they were literally thrown in any random city of Europe. And every team had to reach Amsterdam, which was the final destination. But the catch was, आपके वॉलेट ले लिए जाएंगे, आपका मोबाइल फोन ले लिया जाएगा, आपका क्रेडिट कार्ड डेबिट कार्ड सब कुछ ले लिया जाएगा, एंड यू आर नॉट सपोज टू यूज मनी. This was the whole competition. So I was very intrigued, first of all, but not everyone could be a part of it. There was a 3 month selection process, and from India only two teams were selected. So we started applying for it, and we had to. The first round was that we had to make a video. So I'll just show you that what the video that we made for that particular competition. So, ma'am, if I can just share my screen. Okay. So I'm just sharing my screen, and this is the video that we made.
Excuse me, Mr. Saxena, I am unable to see your video. So, students, please tell, are you guys able to see the video?
No, ma'am, it's buffering a lot.
No, no.
Yes.
Excuse me, Dr. Mani, Yuvraj this side. Actually, I have an event for the quiz which is going on right now. That. So could you please mark my attendance? I just came.
I'm sorry, is the video not visible?
It was buffering.
Yeah.
Sir.
Actually, sir, it is visible, but it was buffering a lot, so we couldn't clearly see what was in it.
Okay. I'll play that video once again, and let's see. I hope the video was visible this time.
Yes, it was visible.
Okay. So basically, this was a small video that we had to make. And the idea was that after making the video was the first step. Second step was to gather votes, which was the toughest part. So we started gathering votes and we did really unconventional things to gather votes. So I'll just share one instance. The second last day of voting, one of my friends was in IIT Delhi. So we went to IIT Delhi at 11 p.m. at the night. And since we were in final year, there the senior junior relationship is pretty strong. And because we could not enter the hostels of Amity, we actually decided to go to IIT. And there, what my friend did, their whole batch gathered the juniors, and they made everyone stand in one line, and everyone was supposed to vote for us, and they were even supposed to ask their family members to vote for us. And we actually finished in the top 10 of the voting round, and top 10 teams were supposed to be interviewed after that. And in the interview, our team actually made it. We were one of the two teams from India out of the 500 teams who had applied for this, and we were one of the 200 teams globally which were selected for this particular event. And in this, we were thrown in Madrid. From Madrid, we had to travel Amsterdam, and our mobile phones were taken, our wallets were taken. We just had to use Red Bull cans as currency to arrange our food, to travel, to arrange our stay. And it was actually the most memorable experience I have ever had. Now, the reason I'm sharing all these things with you is because all of these experience which I've had was all because of community. Being a part of community can actually make a huge difference in anyone's life. It doesn't matter whether you are part of dance community, whether you're part of some singer community, whether you're part of some design club, literary club. I just highly recommend students that they should be a part of some community, because if this community is active, it can nurture you in a way you can't even imagine. And because of community, I also understood the importance of networking. That one great thing is that being in community, and if it's an active community, it teaches you how to build relationships with people. And just because by building relationships with people, we have had an opportunity to execute some of the mind-blowing projects. So last year, when our country was hit by this pandemic, uh, even our business operations were affected. But we were approached by Delhi government because they were looking for some solution so that they could increase the frequency of COVID testing. And secondly, they wanted to keep their medical workers safe. So they asked us if we can provide some solution. Now, we since we have an NGO, under our NGO, we keep doing this innovative initiatives through which we can actually help the society. So our team came up with this idea of COVID testing and vaccination mobile clinic, in which we thought that instead of people going to the hospitals or dispensaries to get themselves tested, what if the hospital comes to their doorstep, and the hospital is testing the population at their doorstep. So now there's a short 2-minute video which I would like to share with you about this particular initiative, which was highlighted at different governmental levels. So just give me a moment. So just let me know if the video is not playable, okay? Alexa, open and sanitize the mobile clinic. So this was a small glimpse of one of our innovative projects that we did to help the society. And the most beautiful part about this project was that we were actually solving multiple problems through this solution. Number one, we were breaking the chain of people. So instead of let's say that the government had identified certain hubs where the people had to be tested. Now instead of people going to the dispensaries and getting themselves tested, this mobile clinic used to go to that particular area, and people just had to come till this mobile clinic to get themselves tested or vaccinated. Right now, it is being used for vaccination now. And if you notice the interiors of the mobile clinic, by the way, this mobile clinic is built on a Mercedes Benz. So we had an exclusive partnership with Mercedes in which they provided us the vehicle, and inside which we actually made the whole mobile clinic. So the idea was to keep our doctors, our medical workers extremely safe, to break the chain of people, and to provide doorstep services to the people. And the best part, that this mobile clinic runs on green diesel, biodiesel. So it doesn't cause any pollution when it is moving on road, unlike traditional diesel vehicles. So this was through this project, the district magistrate of two districts actually won a lot of awards because of this project. And since we have an NGO, the project was supported by SBI Life Insurance, who was our corporate partner, who actually provided funds for this project. Now, the idea was that being in eCell specifically, the reason I'm actually revolving around eCell is because in my eCell, I actually learned thinking out of the box. Whether you talk about my Red Bull journey, whether you talk about the projects that we do, whether you talk about the social media campaigns that we do, the eCell taught me the importance of thinking out of the box and thinking unconventional. So that one being a part of my eCell actually gave me a lot of things which I could not have learned otherwise. So if you have to just if you just want to have one takeaway from this session, be a part of some community which is an active community. If that community is not active, try to make it active and do some value addition. Trust me, if you are able to create some value addition because of that community, it will come back to you. You won't even imagine that what thing that you did in your particular community is actually helping you 5 years from now. So even till date, the best of the best friends which I formed were in the e-cell, not in my classroom. The best of the best friends I've made were in one of my other communities by the name of Toastmasters International, which is a community of people who actually help you improve your public speaking and communication skills. So be a part of community which can actually help you make a difference, and that community will actually give you a lot of value. Trust me on this. So with this, I conclude my session, and if you have any question, I'll be happy to take them.
Yes, Lekha, you would like to ask some question?
Uh, Hi, first of all, good afternoon. It was lovely listening to you and your experience. We really get to learn about a lot of things. I wanted to know if there is such opportunities right now, as you told about the Red Bull events, and it will. I want to ask you a candid question as well. Suppose, what if you couldn't make it? How would you survive? Do you have any lifeline and options as of such?
Okay, it's a very good question. Actually, yes, Red Bull did give us some SOS devices. The reason that they gave us those SOS devices was because if we press that button, immediately the Red Bull team will be alerted that we are in some problem, and their team will be there to escort us. And our location was with them 24/7. So it was a very well organized event, but we did make it. I'm glad we did not press that SOS button. And we have had in Paris, we actually had a near death moment. But despite that, I'm just glad that we made it to Amsterdam, and we did not had to press that SOS button.
So did you actually had to sell those Red Bull cans to people to survive?
We didn't actually have to sell it, but we had to use it as currency. So let's say that if we wanted to arrange our food, we had to use Red Bull cans as currency. So the people there were got so fascinated by the story of it that we actually got to meet a lot of kind people. I've had the best moments. I was able to drink the most despite having no money. We actually ate so much because we were able to get the support of kind people who were complete strangers to us. So I think that particular instance actually restored my faith that humanity exists. So I think I was just fortunate. I found really good people there.
Yeah, and what about uh, are they gonna launch another season
So
or
every two
and
years, yes, every 2 years they do organize this. So the 2020 edition got cancelled due to COVID. So let's hope that in 2022 it's back again. In 21 also it's not happening. So let's hope that it happens in 2022 so that you guys can maybe apply for it. And I really hope that one of the teams from Amity also represents this time.
okay, also my last question, I'm so sorry.
Sure. No problem.
I wanted to ask you if suppose if in future or in coming months if we have as such of an idea and we need some guidance, can we contact you personally through mail or Instagram or some other
Yeah,
social
absolutely.
media
So,
accounts?
we definitely we do provide mentorship to students. In fact, we also have an associations with one of the government institutions, in which we actually incubate startups. Or if you, for that matter, if you have certain idea, we can actually work upon. So, if there's a chat option, I'm not sure if I can send a message on chat. I can share my email and my Instagram. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn, Instagram, and on my email. So if I can get the chat option, ma'am, I would love to share my contact details so that anyone who would like to contact me can actually.
In that case, Miss, actually you have joined as a guest. That is why the chat box is not visible to you. You can WhatsApp me or you can mail me. I will share it with all the students.
So what I'll do, I'll quickly share it on my screen, and people who
Okay.
would like to note it, I'll just share my screen. Okay, just give me one
Students,
moment.
please take a screenshot. In
Thank
that
you.
case, in the meantime, students, any other question? Please raise your hand and unmute yourself.
Yeah, so I'm just sharing my screen.
Okay, sir.
Is it visible?
Yes, the screen is visible.
Is my are my contact details visible?
No.
I've actually done it.
No, actually, so many of the students are using from their Android phones, so quite small.
Just give me one moment. I'm actually not very used to using Teams, so my bad.
So maybe you can spell it out so that we can write down. Those of
Okay,
us
okay.
are
So
listening.
my Insta ID is Shrenewable. So renewable from renewable energy. You just write SH before that. SHRENEWABLE. Shrenewable. And LinkedIn, you just type Shrey Saxena, and I'm sure my big face has made you familiar with my face, so you can just send me a request there. And my email ID is shrey@growdieselmail.com. SHREY growdieselmail.com. I'll also share these details with ma'am and sir, so maybe they can circulate it around if you guys are having some WhatsApp group or something of that sort.
Yes, sir. I posted this in the WhatsApp group.
Oh, perfect. So if there are any questions, okay. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Mr. Saxena, I would,
Yes.
because as students sometimes they feel that idea should not be shared with anyone, their idea gets stolen, and it's a query on behalf of a student actually. And importantly, everyone talk about success. Usually people do not talk about hurdles and failures because it's not about only about success. Sometimes we find success after a lot of failures. So in that point of view, would you like to say something to our students?
Yes, definitely. And I think the thing which I'm sharing with you, I was actually told I was actually told by my seniors of ECell. So it might be a little controversial, but because I respect my seniors, I'll share the exact same thing with you. Ideas are stupid. Execution is everything. If you have an idea and if you cannot execute it, it is absolutely stupid. So, number one, do not be afraid of sharing your ideas. Trust me on this. I had the exact same feeling when I entered my e-cell, that if I have a particular idea and if I share it, it will be copied and blah, 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 but nothing happens. If you have an idea backed by an execution plan, you're gonna make it. But just don't think that you have an idea, you'll put it close to your heart, you won't share it with anyone, so it's not gonna work. I'm sorry. And actually, I've actually witnessed it. There were a couple of ideas in my cell which we actually tried to implement, but we were too scared to share them that they actually never got implemented. So don't be scared of sharing your ideas, provided you have an execution strategy behind it. Second, addressing the second part of the question, talking about success, ma'am, I still feel that I'm in the middle of getting that success which the society defines in traditional terms. So I feel that everyone has a different definition of success. I'll share you a very interesting conversation I was having yesterday with one of my friends. So she mentioned that we were talking about interviews, that how we should frame interview questions. So she came up with a question, and that was, if the history is written by winners, what will be your advice to the losers? So I first thought that what can be an apt answer to this question, and I came up with this particular perspective, and that is, if we talk about the recent Olympics that we have had, we India won many bronze medals and silver medals. Now, from the winner's perspective, the silver and the bronze medal winners were not winners; they were losers. And from perspective of a lot of people, they might be losers. But from perspective of few people who might have gotten inspired to probably do something in sports, for them they were winners. So I get coming back to the question, everyone has a different definition of success. So I would say that first of all, you need to identify what success means to you. It's perfectly fine. It could be earning a crore rupees a month, or it could be just traveling and chilling and having some fun on the beach. So I think write your own definition of what success means to you, and I think just go for it. Just chase that.
Thank you, Shrey. Any other question from students? See, students, you do not get a chance to interact directly to the one who is an entrepreneur right now. So do not miss that chance. These are interactive sessions and you should interact with the speaker. So this is my last call for the question and answer. Students, if you have any, please, yes, Lekha.
I'm sorry, I'm coming up again and again with queries, but
No,
as ma'am
At least
said
someone
that
no
is
need to.
we do not get this opportunity.
Don't say sorry. It is really necessary to clear your
I
doubts.
I actually I'll just share a very quickly share one instance in one of the conferences where one of the speakers was our honorable prime minister, and in the same panel there was Salman Khan also. So the audience had an opportunity to ask the question. So I rose my hand and actually got to ask a question to Salman Khan. So just don't be scared. If I can ask a question to Salman Khan, you can actually ask questions to me from me. So yes.
Actually, I am not scared to ask question. I'm pretty confident. But the thing is, I don't want you to feel like, oh my God, she's very clingy. She's continuously asking questions, and
Life
I
is
may
too short
not be providing.
to think what people are thinking about you. So it's completely all
Yeah,
right. Don't
definitely,
worry about it.
definitely.
Yes,
So what
please
I
go
was
ahead.
asking is, are you gonna be there in the other sessions as well, or are we gonna have other guests in coming sessions?
Yes, there will be two more speakers. After Shreya, there will be two more speakers.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. It was wonderful having you.
Okay, thank you everyone. So I hope that you guys do have a productive evening ahead. I know it's very tough to just be in front of the screens and listening to so many people, but I think that the colleges are opening from 16th of August if I'm not wrong. So just make most of that time as soon as college is open, and I'm completely open to reach out to
Sorry,
you.
Mr. Shreya, one hand is raised before you leave the
Sure,
session. There
no
is
problem, no problem.
one more question. Yes, Malika.
Good afternoon, everyone. Actually, I want to ask, does Grow Diesel provide any kind of internship so that we can have small kind of experience?
Yes, absolutely, we do. In fact, one of the very interesting internships we did was in Himachal Pradesh, in which we selected 10 interns and based on their performances, and we actually sent them to Himachal Pradesh to conduct one event in association with Hero Cycles. And people from 20 countries participated in this, and it was one heck of an event. So we do organize internship opportunities. So you can either follow me on Instagram, I keep on posting that, or you can also follow Grow Diesel on Instagram. So you just go to Instagram and type GROWDIESEL and you can follow that. We are very active there.
Okay, thanks so much.
Ma'am, I also have a question.
So yeah,
Okay,
please go ahead.
please.
Around 2-3 days ago, an article got printed that
अपनी तरफ
scientists have researched that the process have already left the red mark, and in about 20 years Earth will not be a habitable place to live on. So using renewable energy, will it be able to reverse the process?
Yeah, that's a very good question. You talk about climate change and how renewable energy can actually help in fighting climate change. So number one, we need to understand that what is causing climate change. The number one thing that is causing climate change is the pollution that is being produced by burning fossil fuels. So जो हमें फॉसिल फ्यूल्स दिखते हैं, हमें तो सिर्फ गाड़ियों में या जो व्हीकल्स में हमारा पेट्रोल एंड डीजल बर्न हो रहा है, हमें वो दिखाई देता है. बट इसका जो मेजर चंक ऑफ पोल्यूशन है वो इंडस्ट्रीज से आता है. So industries में when we are in the manufacturing sector where we are using fuel there. So again हम कुछ भी create कर रहे हैं, हम कुछ भी manufacture कर रहे हैं, उसमें if the fossil fuels are being used, that is what is causing the majority of the pollution. So renewable energy can actually help us in combating that. So when we talk about renewable energy, काफी लोगों को सिर्फ सोलर दिमाग में आता होगा या विंड दिमाग में आता होगा, but there are more than 5 to 6 different sources of renewable energy. If I talk about my particular industry, we are from biofuel sector. Now, advantage of biofuel sector is that we are actually catering to two problems. जो आपका वेस्ट है जो आप डस्टबिन में डाल रहे हो, हम उसको भी एलिमिनेट कर रहे हैं, और उसको एलिमिनेट करके हम बायोफ्यूल बना रहे हैं, which can be used to run your vehicles, which can be used to run to cook your food, for electricity generation or organic farming. So to answer your question in one straight line, yes, by shifting from fossil fuels to biofuels and renewable energy, we can actually slow down the climate change process that the world is going through.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions, students? Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Shrey, for
Thank you,
joining
ma'am.
us today.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, Saket sir. And it's always good to be back to Amity. I think this is my fourth or fifth session at Amity with the Amitians. So it's always good to be back and
It's a
interact with students.
actually it's a different feeling to be an alumni and to talk to your juniors. You can at this point of a right time. This is at this time you are not feeling yourself as an owner to a company or something. You are talking like a senior to your
Absolutely. No, not even
juniors.
senior. I'm talking as a friend rather. So
Right.
initial actually, there was so Sovil Bhaiya was there. He actually created this culture in ECEL that no one will call each other by sir or bhaiya or didi. Although out of
For
respect,
seniors,
I
you will
call
be
him bhaiya.
friends.
Yeah, so he was like, everyone is at same level. Whether I'm 3 years senior to you, that's outside the club. Outside the club, you call me bhaiya, didi, whatever. I don't care. But inside the organization, everyone is equal. So that was one culture I think I really learned from
Actually,
him. So
he made
thank you
you.
so much, everyone.
Uh, Again, one more hand raise. I'm really sorry. I'm
No, no problem,
stopping
no
you leaving
problem.
this event, but students are raising their hands after a certain time. Yes, Gargi. Please unmute yourself.
Hello. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
you're audible.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I just wanted to ask that do you really think that India is ready for electrical vehicles and biofuel when we have we have a a range of citizens who are middle class and are not able to afford the prices that biofuel and electric vehicle hold. So do you think it's a what's your opinion, you being in the industry? What's your opinion about this?
Okay, Gargi. So I'll very simply answer this question that whenever a shift is happening, a paradigm shift is happening, no one or no organization, no country is completely ready for it. When we talk about evolution or a paradigm shift, things form and they take their own time. I'll give you a very simple example. Probably 30 years back, when the mobile phones were first launched in India, uh, that small, I'm not sure if you guys ever used that phone, that those candy bar phones, even I didn't use that phone, my dad did. And at that point of time, that small phone costed him roughly 40 or 50,000 rupees. 30 years back, 40,000 rupees was a big amount. Even today, it's a big amount. But today, I think the average price of a cell phone that we purchase is also 25 to 30,000 or anything. But 30 years back, that small phone was costing that amount. So costing gets reduced as the industry grows and the consumption grows. So the price factor will definitely go down once we have that app technology, once we have that app consumption. Right now, it's a premium thing. Secondly, you rightly mentioned that one major thing in India is that it's not just about putting out electric vehicles on road. It's not just about putting electric vehicle charging stations on roads. One aspect which very few people are seeing is the energy generation aspect. And that is that even today, a lot of villages and a lot of tier 2 and tier 3 cities do not receive electricity for 24 hours. In Delhi, I'm fortunate that I'm living and I get electricity 24/7. But if we let's talk about Noida, I think Noida is also quite good in that aspect. But you go to Meerut, you go some tier 2 or tier 3 city, you won't see that households are getting electricity for complete 24 hours. 1 घंटे के लिए भी लाइट जाती है, कहीं कहीं पे तो सिर्फ 1 घंटे के लिए लाइट आती है. So energy generation aspect has to be there, which can only be catered through renewable energy. So through renewable energy, हमने energy create करी, and then we use that particular energy to run our vehicles. So it's a very interrelated thing. So once energy generation system is there, and then the energy charging infra is there, and that's how they'll complement each other, and that's how the energy will the industry will grow. And as the industry grows, the consumption grows, the prices comes down. It's the universal philosophy in any scenario. You talk about mobile phones, you talk about computers, you talk about your cars, so anything.
Okay.
So
Thank
I
you.
hope I was able to answer your question, Gargi.
Yeah, thank you.
Last call, students. If you want to ask any other question, please raise your hand now. Yes, Aditya.
Yeah, hi, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. So, sir, uh, of course, biofuels are, of course, a great technology. Of course, it's not like we have been doing it recently. Of course, it's something that we have been doing for thousands of years, right? Burning biomass to get it to energy. Of course, electricity is a new thing, but I wanted you to, maybe talk about how sustainable would it be, considering that in the end of the day we are burning trees or some other type of biomass, or we are planting soybeans or sugar cane to get that ethanol to that we put in our cars. So I wanted you to talk about the sustainability aspect of biofuels, and whether is it a good idea that we put a major chunk of our energy mix, we dedicating it to biofuels. Is that a good idea to embark upon going into the future?
Okay, so that's a very interesting question, Aditya. But I'll tell you that I'll actually quote Brazil over here. So almost 40 years back, what the situation that we are in today, Brazil was at a very similar situation. Secondly, we need to first of all identify from what source we are making the biofuel. So, like I mentioned, that we are making biofuel from waste. So, you throw something into the dustbin, and that is what we are using to make biofuel. So, if you talk about sustainability aspect, Delhi alone generates 12,000 metric tons of waste every single day. Can you imagine the quantum of waste that we generate? If we are able to convert this whole waste into biofuel, 70% of the Delhi's vehicles can actually run on this fuel which we create from the waste that we are dumping on the landfills every single day. So if you talk about sustainability, 100% it makes sense, because we are not uh, actually using this edible oil to make biofuel, or some other source to make biofuel. We are actually using waste. So something which you have already discarded in your dustbin, we are using that. So yes, it is sustainable to move, and it is not just sustainable, it is actually sensible if we move to biofuels.
Okay. So any other question from any of the students? Yes, Vasu Mohan.
Yeah, greetings, Shrey. My question is just an add-on to the question that my colleague asked. So, how economical is it, and you know, what will be the costing? So is it actually sustainable? Because you're creating biofuel from the waste. So from which sort of waste is it? Is it degradable, or you know which sort of? That's all.
Okay. So waste is of broadly of two types. I'm not getting into the subcategorizations of it. So one is wet waste, one is dry waste. So wet waste is any biodegradable waste which the majority of a population generates. So 51% of the waste that we generate is organic waste, or the biodegradable waste. So you must be eating food in your home. Your some of the family member, probably your mom must be cooking something for you. So she must be creating certain waste. So let's say आपने आलू खाए उसके छिलके फेंक दिए, आपने टमाटर खाए उसके छिलके फेंक दिए. So imagine talking about Delhi, 2 crore people doing the exact same thing. Now, when you discard that, I'm specifically talking about wet waste right now. From wet waste, we can convert it into bio-CNG or bio-PNG. Bio-CNG can be used to run your vehicles, and the bio-PNG can be used to provide cooking gas. So I'm not sure which part of Delhi or which part of the country you are from, but if we talk about Delhi, in most of the parts, we get our household gas from IGL through pipeline, not through cylinders. सो जो हमें उस पाइपलाइन में गैस मिलती है दैट इज मीथेन गैस अगेन नेचुरल गैस दैट इज द एग्जैक्ट सेम गैस विच वी आर मेकिंग फ्रॉम द डिस्कार्डेड वेस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट प्लास्टिक सो फ्रॉम प्लास्टिक इज एक्चुअली अ क्रूड प्रोडक्ट सो जो रिफाइनरीज में बाय प्रोडक्ट बनता है जो बाय प्रोडक्ट निकलता है उससे प्लास्टिक बनता है सो व्हाट वी आर डूइंग एट द एंड ऑफ द डे पहले क्रूड ऑयल से प्लास्टिक बना प्लास्टिक को हमने डीपॉलीमराइज करा एंड उसे वापस क्रूड ऑयल बना दिया ओके एंड उसको द थिंग दैट इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द क्रूड प्रोसेस ओवर हियर इज दैट वी एलिमिनेट सल्फर फ्रॉम इट सल्फर इज एक्चुअली समथिंग विच कॉजेज पॉल्यूशन सो जब हम इसको डीपॉलीमराइज कर रहे हैं तो हमने इसमें जो सल्फर कंटेंट है वो एकदम हटा दिया है एंड नाउ द डीजल दैट वी आर गेटिंग इज एक्चुअली एन एनवायरमेंट फ्रेंडली फ्यूल. So to very simply answer your question, again, yes, it makes complete economical sense. Again, it is commercially viable. One more thing one more reason I will give to back my answer is, Vasu, which part of the country do you live in?
I'm a Delhiite. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Which part of the country you live in?
I'm a Delhiite, buddy.
Okay, which part of Delhi?
South Delhi.
So South Delhi mein, I'm assuming you're not living in a group housing society, rather an individual household, is it?
True, buddy.
Okay, so आपके घर में probably ऐसा होता होगा आप अपने डस्टबिन मतलब अपने घर के बाहर अपना कचरा रख देते होगे. So या तो म्यूनिसिपैलिटी की गाड़ी आपके यहाँ से कचरा उठा के ले जाती होगी या फिर आपका कोई एक कचरा वाला कोई लड़का होगा जो आपके घर से वेस्ट उठा लेता होगा. कौन सा केस है इन दोनों में से?
कचरे वाला उठा लेता है.
सॉरी,
हाँ मतलब कचरे वाला उठा लेता है.
कचरे वाला उठा लेता है. तो इस कचरे वाले को आप कुछ पैसे देते हो महीने के एंड में या कैसे रहता है वो?
डेफिनेटली पैसे देते हैं.
Okay, so now imagine this. You are paying to get rid of the waste. Okay. आइडियली आप कोई भी सेक्टर उठाओ, आपको आईफोन बनाना है, आपको आईफोन बनाने के लिए 10 चीजें पहले खरीदनी पड़ती हैं, फिर आपको आईफोन बनाया, आपने आईफोन बनाया एंड आईफोन फिर सेल कर दिया. हमारे केस में वी आर एक्चुअली गेटिंग पेड टू गेट दैट वेस्ट फ्रॉम योर हाउस होल्ड्स. सो दैट इज अ नेगेटिव वैल्यू रॉ मटेरियल. सो आपके घर से वेस्ट उठाने के लिए भी मैं आपसे पैसे ले रहा हूँ एंड जो मेरे पास वेस्ट आया उसको मैं कन्वर्ट कर रहा हूँ फ्यूल में, विच इज अ प्रीमियम प्रोडक्ट. सो मेरे को अपने रॉ मटेरियल उठाने के भी पैसे मिले एंड उस रॉ मटेरियल को मैंने एक प्रीमियम प्रोडक्ट में बना दिया, उसको बेचने के लिए भी मेरे को पैसे मिल रहे हैं. सो नाउ डज इट मेक कमर्शियल सेंस टू यू?
Shrey, let me talk something legal about it. ये तो मैं अपनी कन्वीनियंस फीस देता हूँ बेसिकली, और जो जॉब है वो बेसिकली तो गवर्नमेंट की है कि मतलब जो आता है, जो एक बारी ट्रक आता है, it should take down. So there is a cost by the government. You're understanding that there is already a cost by the government.
Vasu, are you aware of Municipal Solid Waste Rules 2016?
I have to check, buddy. I have to check.
Okay. So just have a look at those rules. So in those rules, it's clearly mentioned if your society has more than 300 households, so legally you are supposed to install a waste to biofuel project by laws. If not, the NJT can actually put a case on your RWA. So going by the legalities of it, MSW rules 2016 should be adhered, which unfortunately less than 5% country is doing. So things take time and things will definitely improve. So I would also recommend you to check Satat scheme by Government of India, in which all the oil PSUs, Indian Oil, BPCL, you just name any big daddy, any big oil company, they are actually going into biofuels and they can actually purchase 100% of the biofuel which you are making from waste. Satat scheme.
True.
Excuse me, ma'am.
I'm a graduate from UPS, so I have an idea about this. and buddy, what I think as of now, it's not been economical. Uh,
We
you
are
know,
in this industry since last 20 years, and it is damn
mhm.
economical, bro.
Okay. I'll be connecting with you on the LinkedIn.
Definitely.
Sure.
Okay,
Mhm.
last two questions, Mr. Shrey, Gargi and Shlok, and after that, no more questions.
Sure.
Thank
Yes,
you, Shrey.
Gargi.
Thanks a lot.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, the rest can leave because we have another class in 5 minutes.
Okay. Yes, Gargi, you want to ask something?
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to ask that you being in the industry for many years, according to you, is the Indian government doing their best for such organizations and for such entrepreneurs to come up at a national level and do things for India? Also, do you think that uh, as much as we are as much as we contribute, sorry, there's someone's mic on.
Yeah, please go ahead, Gargi.
Yeah. So, do you think, yeah, the first question is of the Indian government, and the second is, do you think, if we talk about India, or even if we talk about the whole world, then this is a new thing to the world, like renewable energy and biodegradable fuels. Do you think at this point of time where we are standing, where every alternative country is on fire, do you think that doing as much as we are doing right now will add to our survival on earth, or it's just that we are doing something just for the name's sake, that at least we have done something for earth
Okay, if
and
you are
something to save
specifically talking, okay, I'll take this question. So, addressing to the first part of your question, where you mentioned that is the government doing enough for the organizations or entrepreneurs who are in this industry. So, from 2018 onwards, my answer is yes. From 2018 onwards, there was a national biofuel policy which was rolled out by the cabinet, and the cabinet was directly chaired by our honorable prime minister. So, definitely, there's a huge emphasis on biofuels that has never been before, and or the introduction of Satat scheme actually has just boosted our industry to a whole new level. So that's definitely there. Addressing to the second part of the question, where you specifically talk about the climate change aspect of this. So I recommend you to read this book by Bill Gates on how we can save the climate disaster. So in this particular book, he actually mentions the steps that we can take in order to actually reduce the carbon emissions. So renewable energy is one major aspect of it. So if you want to go to the technicalities of it, I highly recommend you to read that book.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, next, Shlok, please unmute yourself.
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes.
Hi, Shrey. So, first off, I'd like to say it's really appreciable that your company is taking the initiative to be into this field of renewable energy and being environmentally friendly. I needed a clarification. So, is your company acting as waste management and a collection company and a biofuel creating company, or is it just a company that is dealing with creation of biofuel?
We
Because
just
um,
Yeah, please go ahead.
as you had mentioned, you guys, as you had mentioned, that there was a negative raw material cost, which you can somewhat are able to get because people are essentially paying to get their materials removed, their garbage removed. So are you working in both of those sectors or just in the biofuel?
So currently, we do not directly enter into collection right now, but we do have associations with the waste collectors there, and our we are very focused that we are a biofuel company. We are not a waste management company, and for us, waste is just one of the raw materials that we can use to generate biofuels. There are 10 other raw materials from which we can make biofuels. So we are not a waste management company.
And so, as you had mentioned to the other person, I forgot what his name was, the guy who was asking previously. So, the negative cost of raw material, that's not really applicable to you, as I believe you would be paying whoever the median, the middleman is, where you're getting your raw materials from. Is that correct?
So we directly work with the government. Government appoints a particular contractor who does the waste collection, and we get the waste at no cost. But we are
Oh, so
actually
it's
making one system,
free.
and that system, through that system, what we plan to do, whatever money is being collected from the citizens as per the MSW rules, we plan to return that money in the form of green cash, which can be actually redeemed online. So we are actually in the process of creating that system.
Wow, I mean, that must be a really good deal for you guys that you're able to procure your raw materials for essentially no extra charge. It's free. And so that's actually really good. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that is
okay,
why
thank
it
you.
makes economic sense. Yes,
And I also appreciate that you want to give back to the actual customer who's paying for it.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, thank you once again, Mr. Shrey, for
Thank you, ma'am.
giving us time, a lot of time.
No problem at all. If anyone has any questions, they can just reach out to me on LinkedIn, Instagram, or email. I'm completely available. Okay.
Thank you once
All
again.
right. All right. Bye bye, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, students, now we have our second guest with us, Mr. Deevan Shuvatwani, founder and COO Point Zero Solutions Private Limited. Mr. Wadhwani completed his engineering in the field of mechanical from JECRC Jaipur in year 2016. He has worked as an executive in Honda Cars India Private Limited and senior engineer in ABL Technical Center Private Limited. Now he is an entrepreneur with the Point Zero Solutions. So now I would like to call Mr. Wadhwani to present his journey, to present his failures, journeys, hurdles for our students to become an entrepreneur, successful entrepreneurs.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ekta, for introducing me. So yeah, before I just start with my journey, I just want to know the audience here, like what in which year they are studying. Is it a mix or what? Like, is it they are in the first? Means I just want to know the audience who all are
Sir,
attending.
Mr. Wadhwani, they are of multidisciplinary courses and maximum of them are either from third year or maybe final year.
Okay, third or final year. Okay. So yeah, my name is Devanshu Wadhwani, like Ekta mentioned. So if I start about my journey, like when I was in school, so I was a very average kind of a people, average kind of a student in a class who was get compared to every other one, and I just didn't like these type of thing that at that time that I should not be compared with anyone. Okay, what I get the average marks, okay, what is that, but I have something in me. From there I started. So after just completing the school, what like I had a dream to join the Indian Armed Forces. That was my first and foremost dream, like my first one, my first love that which I want to do. That I have to serve the nation. So for serving the nation, I thought that I should join the armed forces and all. So I started preparing for that as soon as I completed my schooling. And at that time, basically, there is a process in the joining the armed forces which is called SSB, and that interview helps me a lot to bring my personality out to this world. Like when you go to the SSB interview, you don't know when you will get out of that SSB interviews. Like you can be rejected on the day one, you can be on day 5, or you can be on day 15. So depending upon those situations, you don't have a return tickets, you are failed. Like if you are failed on the first day, very first, have tickets to travel back. So those were the build my basically the foundation to deal the people, the hard situations. So at this early stage only, I exposed to the hard world where I need to talk to people, negotiate with them, like negotiating for the tickets to the TT. And so those were the situations basically which built my foundation. So for you all guys, like you are in the third and final year, or maybe someone in the initial stage of their colleging. So at that time, like this is very important time for you to build your the foundation. Like if your core is the strong, you have the core qualities, then only you can achieve anything in your life. Whether you want to be an entrepreneur or you want to do anything else in your life, like you should set your goals at this stage. So I started exploring myself in that stage only. Definitely at that time, I didn't clear the any of the SSB interview. I gave back to back 7 interviews at that time. So I at till that time I have realized that I have to explore myself more. So I never put myself in my comfort zone. Like all the challenging situation which comes in my college tenure. So I took that. I joined almost every college activity to explore myself, and from there only I realized that I joined the EDC cell, Entrepreneurship Development Cell of my college, and I realized, yeah, I am good in it, and I can do it. Definitely I can be an entrepreneur. And also the dream, my dream from the school time, like I want to serve the nation. So by becoming an entrepreneur, I also can I can also serve the nation. So from there only my entrepreneurship journey started. I explored myself in that way. So yeah, that can be a learning for you guys, that at this time explore yourself. uh, like only these 4 years or the 5 years of the college will help you to explore yourself, because you will get lots of exposure in variety of the fields. You can explore yourself. So yeah, from there I started. Then I like after that, when I completed my college, I am very clear that I have to do the entrepreneurship. But the one thing I was lacking of, that I can do it alone. Basically you need a good team. Like if you think that you will alone change the world, or you will alone bring the idea to the world, and you can alone do anything, that is not possible. You need a very good team. So during the then I started doing job and started finding 2 3 persons with me who can be with me lifelong, till the time we lifelong we can be together, and we can build this business or my idea to certain levels. So I started exploring the team at that time. So I did the job for almost 4.5 years, 4.5 years. And during the time of the Honda tenure, I found my co-founder there. So yeah, we both matches a lot, like our likes, dislikes, and uh, we both have the same passion. So we both have the same passion to do the entrepreneurship, to serve the nation, build the nation. So from that only, we basically made our vision of the company, that transforming life challenges into the life experience. So that is our motto. Like in future, what we want to do, transforming life experiences, life challenges into the life experience. So this is how we started. There is one more thing on which I want to highlight, that during these time, basically when I was doing job or when I was in college. So one thing which really helped me a lot in building my core foundation was the traveling. For you, it can be another thing, like your any like dislike, whatever you like or whatever your hobbies are. For me, it's traveling. In travel in Traveling teaches me planning, decision, social adaptability, responsibility, courage, determination, balance in life. Whatever all qualities are, the traveling has taught me a lot. I have done solo traveling, and with the group traveling, with traveling with friends, with every other kind of traveling, have always taught me a different thing or different learning in the life. So yeah, definitely for you also, matlab for anyone, like you should explore anything which teaches you the basic qualities or basic learnings of the life, like that. Yeah. So in the starting of the year, like 2021, after pandemic, we registered our company as a Point Zero Solutions Private Limited. And like how it started, like during the start of the year, our Honda company stopped their R&D operations in the India. So it was like for other, it was very disappointing. For us, it was like very motivating, and we took this challenge now, and we were very happy. Now we have the time, and we can give our time to the startup. So at that time only, me and my colleague from my Honda, so we were discussing like how we can proceed further. So at that time only, uh, one of our colleagues were very shouting and very frustrated from the parking issues he faced. So at that time only we get our idea why not to solve that. So India, full of the parking problems, full of the traffic jams. So we took that idea like, yeah, there is a potential in this idea, and we have those qualities that we can transform those parking challenges into the life experience. So from there, our company started. Then after we started building the team, like to uh, we started building team, we started hiring interns, and like at that time I started contact I and my colleague both started contacting their past contacts. On them we can trust for, like basically I told you in the starting that initially uh, in the office tenure I was searching for the people who can be with me lifelong in this journey. So I started contacting them to whom those I trust, and they can be with me. So yeah, from that only we build a very good team, and now we are a team of 25 people. We are working on a same idea with the same goals to achieve something, and we are hoping that by the end of this year, you will see a product in the market very soon. So this is what my journey was to becoming an entrepreneur. Like from average guy to the entrepreneur, this is what my story is. Yeah. So yeah, that's it from my side. Yeah, if
Okay.
anybody has questions
Yes,
or
definitely. Students, please, we have Mr. Deevan Shuvatwani with us. So if you have any query, you can ask them. Students, please raise your hand and then unmute yourself. Yes, Kunal.
Hello.
yes, hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Kunal.
Sir, I wanted to ask what was your biggest learning from your journey and how will you describe your journey in a word? Like, what was the most important thing that you realized while growing up as an entrepreneur?
The most important point was that when I joined the EDC cell, there I met one person named Rishi Raj. I still remember, and yeah, that person when I has changed total thinking about the business from my mind. So yeah, from that is the changing situation from me to becoming an entrepreneur. And if I defined it in a one word, uh, basically I'll say two words. It's, take challenges. What I will say, like it is challenging, and always take challenging. Take challenge to achieve something. Like get out of your comfort zone. This is how I define
Thank you,
it.
sir.
Yeah.
Any other question? Our faculty members are also invited to ask a few questions, and students, please raise your hand and then unmute yourself. Yes, Ansh. Student Ansh, आपने unmute. You are not audible. Yes, students. Okay.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Maybe some internet glitch is there because I am unable to hear any voice. Student, someone was talking? Please raise your hand so that I can identify who has unmuted. I do not want to mention it again that you have a chance to interact with an entrepreneur directly. So do not miss the opportunity. If you have any question, because the speaker is giving us time, which is precious. Yes, Navya, please unmute yourself. Uh, yes, yes, Navya.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can hear you.
So, good evening, sir. Thank you so much for giving your time to us and interacting. My question is very simple. It's you said that your product will be soon launched in the market. So,
Yes.
can you give some tips for before designing any product? Like you said, you recognize the parking problem, so you must have conducted some market research, right? To identify that okay, these are the stats and this is how this industry would be beneficial. So can you give some tips on marketing research?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, if you will, like, अगर हमें कोई product develop करना है, so there are the four stages. So first thing is the awareness, which you said the market research. So for the market research, we conducted the online Google Forms. There are some third-party agencies which help us in doing the market research. And all of the above these things, there is a very important market research, which is the on-ground survey. So me and my co-founder directly went to the on-ground management or the parking management services, and we directly interacted with them, and that feedback really was very important for building this product. So from all of those research and ground surveys, like, this is the category which is called awareness. Then after, from all of this awareness, you will develop your interest, like what all qualities or the features you want in your product. You have received lots of feedbacks and lots of
Okay, there is some glitch somehow due to internet connection. Mr. Devanshu has, yes, he has joined again. Take a screenshot if somebody has not. This is the first program. This is your second program. Swap. Oh, sorry. Finding out which number is indeed odd or even number. The third one is. Mr. Devanshu, you are
Muted.
yes, you are muted. Or just write line. This is the third. The fourth one is
Hello, hello. Am I audible now?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes, you're audible.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption. So yeah, what I was saying that the first stage was the awareness. Then from the awareness, you will come to your interest, like what features and what things you want to put in your product. From the interest only, you decide your features and all things. Then you come to the position of taking decisions, like what exactly decisions you have to take for achieving those features and those qualities in your product. And when you have those decisions, then only you can take the actions towards that to achieve to build that product. So yeah, the four stages: awareness, interest, then decision, then action. This is the four fundamentals which we are following for building our product, like market research, then summary, then decision, then action. Yeah. This is how you can. I
Thank you.
hope I am clear to you.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Yes, students, any other question? Yes, Shlok.
Good evening.
Good
So my
evening.
question is, so without having a product in the market, a product being in the real world, which is being used and tested, how do we evaluate the company? How do we give it a price essentially? And how do we secure funding if the product isn't in the market and we don't know how it's actually going to perform? So what do we do to secure funding and give an evaluation to the company that it's worth XYZ money, dollars and stuff?
As of now, Shilok, what we are doing is the bootstrapping, and yes, we are also looking for a funding. So there are many incubation and seed funders which are available. There are third party agencies also, like Mediator, who help us to find the funding. And yeah, we are exploring all the ways to get the fund. And there is a event which is starting in India, like the Shark Tank. If like it is a globally recognized event, and which for there the investors are called as the shark, and they fund the entrepreneur. So now for the first time they are coming to India. And yeah, there are such type of events which are happening around us, which help us to build the fund. So for that we have qualified, for first round we have qualified for the Shark Tank. And yeah, these are the
Wow.
such events which are happening, and for that only we are able to build the fund. There are some also international events in which you just have to apply, and you have to submit the idea with respect to their problem statement. Like if they have some problem statement, they put in on their portal. You just have to give the idea and the presentation what you are going to do. So they uh, in these events also they help us with the small amount to achieve or to make a product, to build a product, or to run the company. Like in that way we are
Yeah.
able to manage our fund.
So just a follow-up question. I'm familiar with what Shark Tank is. So one of the questions I see they always ask is, what are your sales? Or they ask you, what are your projected sales? So how do we essentially translate demand, which we're not even sure about what the demand is, but we have a hypothesis of what the demand might be, into projected sales? How are we translating all of that if we don't have a product in the market, or we're just in conceptualizing it, or we're just prototyping our product till now? How do we give a figure of how much the product is able to get, or what are the projected sales we're looking for that product?
Yeah, it at this stage, if I will say, it's all about the research. What research we have done. So according to that, there is a like we have categorized our targets with the ranking model, and according to that we are targeting it. uh, like all those figures which you want to ask all come from the research. Like uh, there are some published papers in which you will get some data. From taking those data as a reference, you calculate the future forecast and the future sales or the protection sales, what you have said. So future targets, uh, that all of things we have made on the basis of the research papers or the published articles on the internet, or by the our research on the ground research, like whatever the data we have got. On the basis of that, we have built our model, like financial models, like how we will achieve the things, or we will achieve the
Okay.
sales target. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
At
That
this
was
stage
really
only,
insightful.
at this stage only, this thing is possible. Once our product will come out in the market, then definitely we will have the actual sales. Like that, at that time we can
Exactly.
compare. At that time we can compare that what was our targeted and what is the actual. So from that
Exactly.
only we can come to the exact need of our product once we will
Okay.
run our
Um,
the actual product in the market. Yeah.
sorry. I've maybe you mentioned this, but I missed. What was your product that you guys were delivering? If that's okay, if I could ask that.
Yeah, so as I mentioned that we identify the lots of parking problem. So we identified that there is a lots of traffic jam in the parking. While doing the parking, you didn't get the parking spot. Sometimes you go round and round and you never find a parking spot, and this waste your time a lot. So to going to the core of this problem, we identify the traffic jam in the at the parking spot is the main problem. And why this traffic jam is happening? Because of the cash payments and all, like cash payments or the slip system, the conventional slip system. You take slip system, you have to stop once for parking in the spot. So we are trying to eliminate that, and we are automating the whole parking structure. You don't need to stop for the slip or the payments. You just have to go in, park your vehicle and come out, and you there will be a app in which you will get the information regarding the parking, nearby parking, like where are the parking available, empty slots. You can navigate to your slot, or you can even book your slot from the app only. So on this thing especially we are working on
Huh.
complete parking automation.
That's a really great initiative that you've taken. I wish you good luck on that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Any other questions, students? Okay. So thank you so much, Mr. Wadhwani. Now I would like to invite Professor Dr. Ashish Mani, Head Entrepreneurship and Startup, and Professor Electrical and Electronics Engineering, AIDC, to present the vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Amity University is a research and innovation-driven university which has a culture of outcome-based education embedded in its fabric. Online sessions and discussions like the current one are organized primarily for sharing of experiential knowledge, possible networking, and collaboration amongst participants so as to improve our outcomes exponentially. Motivating students through My Stories series is an important initiative for inspiring students to create successful startups. I must appreciate and thank Dr. Sujata Pandey, Head Amity Innovation and Design Center, convener IIC, for taking initiative in organizing the session. It is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing team of IIC Amity, which has been rated as 5-star by Innovation Cell, Ministry of Education, and Amity Innovation and Entrepreneurship Group, led by Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Balwinder Shukla, whose guidance has helped us improve the overall program structure and its effectiveness. Thank you, madam, for sharing your valuable insights. We are indeed privileged to have the guidance of one of the biggest luminaries with a magnificent vision, our founder president, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan. Thank you, sir, for illuminating our path with atomic framework. That is, attack the opportunities, monitor implementation, and compliance. We are grateful to Dr. Atul Chauhan, our Honorable Chancellor, for his valuable support and encouragement. I thank our distinguished and eminent speaker, Mr. Shrey Saxena, social entrepreneur at Grow Diesel. Thank you for sharing your valuable experience with the participants on importance of community and also for emphasizing that ideas should not be kept to oneself. They should be freely shared, and an idea only when it's backed by a strong execution plan is can result in success or is worthy of success. So you should share your ideas freely. And for creating a very valuable enterprise, which is converting waste to wealth. I also thank Mr. Devanshu Wadhwani, founder of Point Zero Solutions Private Limited. Thank you very much for sharing insights and experience with participants on how you identified the opportunity of parking solutions. Also thank all the distinguished guests, my esteemed colleagues, students, and other participants for making and benefit from the national story along with institution innovation cell. Finally, I thank Amity support team for making the necessary arrangements. Thank you one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, students. Thank you, faculty members. Now, with this, I am ending this session.